This is your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask with your host, Dr. Judith Briles. On the show today, you'll find out where book publishing is going and how to take advantage of it. How to identify and avoid publishing predators. What opportunities are emerging as the book trade evolves in new forms. How to avoid losing money and much, much more. Join us now as a variety of publishing pros will deliver insights and strategies to take the author to the next level of publishing. It's your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. Brought to you by AuthorU and the Book Shepherd. And now, here's your host, Dr. Judith Briles.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition this week of AuthorU, your guide to book publishing. Throughout it, I'm going to share ahas and insights and lots of tips to enhance and support your book. My goal is always to be there and to open the door, really, for your book success and your book marketing as we go along. As a reminder, if you're on Twitter, hey, connect with me. My handle is @myBookShepherd. And if on Facebook, join me in the book publishing group to share any news or ask questions. So let's get started. You just have me today. It's a solo journey. And we are going to bring in the power of Amazon. Now, a lot of you just take Amazon for granted, that it's just there. It wasn't always there. In fact, Amazon was the shining light for so many of us who were small press, independent press, and for those who were in the self-publishing area. There was no other vehicle to really sell your book to many in a distribution format unless you were picked up by a mainstream publisher. So let's talk about mainstream publishing. It's changed. It's changed a lot. When I started publishing, when I signed my first contract in 1979 with the book that came out in June 1981, I really believed from my heart of hearts that this was the only way legitimate authors published. Today, that is a nonsense belief for anyone who is holding on to that. And the odds of being picked up by a traditional publisher are just actually remote. 1.6 million books are published a year. That's roughly 4,600 every day. 4,600. New York traditional publishers publish roughly 10,000 a year. So in 3 days, their allotment's gone. All right, so we're done. What else are you going to do? Well, there's just lots of options out here and going to it. But the difference for people who are successful in the independent small press market are those who understand that one, publishing is a business. There's a P&L. There's got to be a plan to it. There's got to be marketing and support for it. You're going to have some investment in it of your time, energy, money, commitment. Those who get that are successful. Now, Amazon has expanded, and of course, you can buy everything from, toenail clippers to thermometers to toilet paper to electronics to some groceries I have delivered. I mean, everything. And of course, books. And that one of the essential things for you as an author is to, number one, get that Amazon is going to be probably your primary distributor on the retail market. As a speaker, and in last week's show, we talked about, speaking and how to get going on that, how to put yourself to get it structured and set yourself up and start marketing and fees and so much more. Unless you're out there really speaking, Amazon's going to be your buddy, big buddy. So how do you take advantage of it? Well, the first of it is you've got to get reviews for your book. And yes, would I love to see you have thousands and thousands and thousands of them? Yeah, but let's be realistic. Can you get past 10? You better. You want to get past 10 because there are certain things where, like with ads and marketing, you've got to have a little bit of testimonials behind you. Now, most authors think, well, I'll ask my friends. Amazon may not allow that. If they figure out that you're connected on social media, they may take their reviews down. If you have the same name, family members, they will most likely take them down. If you live in the same household, they'll definitely take them down. If you talk to all your cronies at work to put up a review and they put it in during their work hours, because of the dominance of that IP being the same, Amazon will take them down. So what you need to just get other people out there. And one of the things to do, wherever you're at, forward, I want all of you to get in the habit of carrying a clipboard with you. At the top of it, there's going to be two things here going on. At the top of it, you want to say, join my preferred emailing list. You want to have the name, their email, and if you can get their mobile number, that would be very cool, because then you can text them. But by them signing that, they now have opted in to get your blog or whatever you send out on your email list, any special things going on. The second thing that you're doing is that if they buy the book, so all you have to do is have your clipboard, and when they're buying it, have them sign, at the same time, that you can make a little note like, they bought your book on confidence. So you could just put C down, and that would say that you know exactly what they bought. So then you can follow up with them with an email and just thank them again for buying your book. You can send them a shortener. I would use either tinyurl, or you could use bit.ly, bit.ly, and take that long Amazon link that's at the top of the search bar when you're on your detail page on Amazon, and you can shorten it. You can customize it. You can have, maybe it says, your word. Like, for example, for our podcast that we have, I have a shortener that instead of going through some of the other channels, that it would bring you to my show page, and it's bit.ly book publishing podcast. So it would be bit.ly/book publishing podcast, with the B, the P, and the P all capped. So it makes it easier, but also it's more memorable. They can remember the word that you're doing it. So if you have a short book title, you could actually have your book title, but you could customize it with the tiny URL in bit.ly. That's just smart for you to do. And then here's the other cool thing. When you go into their pages, you can see the bit.ly or the tiny URL. You can see how many people have clicked on it. So if you ever have a special run on it, you're doing it, and you have a shortener to your page, your detail page for your specific books, that when you use that link, you can actually go through and see, is my campaign being successful, which is what we're going to talk about here. How many clicks have happened and gone through in the process. Now, with that said, you want to figure out, all right, so reviews. And so what I want you to do is you can go to that person who bought your book on confidence, or your fantasy novel on the future isn't happening, whatever it is, that you can go to them and thank them again for getting your book. You enjoyed meeting them, and you would be honored if they would post a review on Amazon. Amazon sells word of mouth. Customer reviews sells books. So you can do it. And so you may have to go to them again and again and again. So you want reviews. Secondly, what you want to do at some point in time is maybe think about doing an Amazon campaign. It is very cool to say that your book is an Amazon bestseller. And I'm not talking about for 1 hour, a half an hour, a few minutes. I'm talking about multiple days, multiple categories over a period of time. And through these last 2 years, I've worked hard on developing a special campaign. We call it the Amazon Bestseller Campaign. It is a live, we don't do slides. I do it live online. I do it every other month. So, and it's an odd month. So it would be like, it would start in January and then, is that how I did? No, February. I did February and then I do May and that kind of thing. So July will be the next one. And we do, for the summer, July will be done. And then we slip into, we go 3 months later or every third month is what I do it. And then I have another class. So during that class, it's 4 weeks and we have that. And that I will walk you through the process of how you develop it. It starts with identifying, okay, let's say today is the first time this show went live was in early June. So let's say that today would be in June 2021 was the first time we went live. So what would that be on our calendar? And we're looking at, it would be June 10th, right? So June 10th is the first day live. All right, so what I'm going to be doing then is that, if that was the June process, that for every Wednesday on June, you will work with me for 90 minutes as I put you through the process. That's how we do it. And you're going to identify what month you want to do your bestseller. Do not tell me next week. It takes some time to put this all together. But by the time we're done with our 4 90-minute sessions, you will have it all together and you will be ready to propel it out. So that's the planning of it. And here's the great thing. It's like a set it and forget it. Once you have it done, you don't have to worry about it anymore. It takes off. We'll be right back.
This is your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles. And we'll be right back with more great information right after these.
Is there a book in you or another? AuthorU shows you how to create, develop, and publish your book without being hoodwinked. If you already have a book out, you will find a supportive and brainstorming community that is connected and creative, no matter where you live. AuthorU brings in national experts for its book camps and annual AuthorU extravaganza. It has regular meetings and delivers webinars for its members on timely topics. Through AuthorU's extensive network, members enjoy exclusive benefits, including significant discounts for a variety of services necessary to publishing. AuthorU is the premier authoring resource in the country, creating community, education, guidance, vision, and success for the serious author. If you want to create a book that has pizzazz, punch, and panache, AuthorU is for you. Timely author and publishing tips and articles are posted on its social media platforms, and it is free. Discover AuthorU, where authors go to become seriously successful. Join AuthorU today at AuthorU.org.
Welcome back to your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. If you want to write and publish a book, if you want to be successful as an author, your guide to book publishing, everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask, is for you. Stay tuned and you'll hear about statistics, scenarios, and strategies on what to do now to get you published. So let's get back to the show. And here again is your host, Dr. Judith Briles.
The next thing, you want to make sure that you're on KDP with Amazon to run a bestseller campaign. And that means that if you have your book, and this is going to be an ebook that we're going to do, if you have your ebook up on any other platform, whether it's Barnes & Noble, whether it's Kobo, whether it's Ingram Spark, where it is, you got to take it down during this period of time, because you're going to run it on the KDP Select. And when you're with KDP Select, that it be amazon.kdp or kdp.amazon.com. When you're with that you're exclusive for the 90 days, and then you can open it up and go back on all your other platforms. But to run this, to pull this together, to get the pop and the power, you have to be exclusive. So, and that's why, as we went to the break, I said, give yourself this month to pull it together so you have it all and it comes off. So now, if your book is attractive to other areas, for example, Canada, you may be in North America. So Canada is certainly part of North America. And a lot of the books that can be successful, people don't realize also, if there is any hot running on it, it'll be scoring in Canada, which also, let's go down under, could be hitting Australia. And now let's go across the pond to the UK. So you are going to be checking those markets. And I know I did a campaign for a book. And here's what's cool. We're not talking about new books. These could be old books. And for those of you who are fiction writers, the reason why this is so hot is you can start with one of your early books in a series. Say you have, maybe there's 4 books in a certain series. I would be starting with book 1 and do that as free. I'm going to give this away over 2 or 3 days and let it domino and seed. Ooh, if people like this one, maybe they're going to start buying that one, the next one. And that is what our experience has been for our fiction authors. For the nonfiction, they start looking, well, what else has this author written? And they start checking those out. So it makes it very exciting. All right, so you're on, you go on, you have a KDP account. You have to be in the select. You're going to identify, okay, the date. All right, when am I going to run this? So, okay, I want to do it August. I'm going to do it in August. My recommendation is you do it on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. If it's a 3-day, if it's a 2-day, Thursday, Friday. I would usually avoid Sunday. It's not that you can't hit the number ones. It's just that there's less traffic. There's less traffic. And if the goal is to get a lot of eyeballs on your name and your book title and coattail your expertise, Thursday, Friday are the heavy hitter days. So you have that. And that the possibility of now expanding into other countries is very cool. So like if I wanted to see how my book was doing in Canada, I would go to amazon.ca. All right, and I could check that out. If I wanted to see what my book was doing in Germany, I'd go .d, like a dog, e, elephant. Each code, each country where Amazon is available has their own unique code, and you can check it out. And in ebooks, this is a great way to see, is there any traction? Do I have any recognition? One of my clients has a wonderful flavors with benefits that has wonderful recipes out of France and they hit Germany, they hit France, they hit number 1 in Australia, they hit number 1 in UK, in Canada, and the United States, just because of the cross connection that was going on. Now, most people don't think about checking out those other sites, but hey, everyone, I think this would be a good idea if you did and check that out. All right, so you have that. So we start your infrastructure. You need to know what title. You're going to make sure you look at the back of it. What's the ISBN? Because one of the things that I want to make sure when you come up is you are going to have you're going to buy an ad. And there are lots of places that you can get ads on them. I'm a big fan of Free Booksy, but there's others out there that are available to you that you can take advantage of in that area. So I want to make sure that you think about that on where you're going to go. But I would be doing, if I was doing an ad, I would be doing the ad on Thursday and go ahead and let the domino factor come into play on the Saturday, Friday, Saturday. And it usually does. That's been our experience when people go through this process. Now, so you've got that. When you're going to do an ad, and you have to identify on KDP, and the reason why you do this early is you want to go ahead and make sure that you've got it queued up. The same with the ads. You decide ads, a lot of these places that sell ads, and you will be paying for this ad. And it could be $25, it could be $45, it could be $65, $75. It depends upon your area. If you're in fiction, like in romance, I'm going to tell you it's more expensive. If you're in children's books, it could be like maybe $45. If you're in a topic like horror, it might be $25. All right. So it's going to vary in different components. I think that's what I'm trying to say here. But you want to go ahead and lock that down. So you lock down your date and you identify. And then you lock down your ad, and you have that. So those are off your checklist. Okay, so I'm going to do these dates, and then I'm going to do these dates. All right, now I'm going to come back. What else do I need? We got to do a hashtag search. We got to really dig down into the hashtag area and figure out what mine are. And that I also think is really important because, you maybe pick up more followers. So one of the things that I would be doing is do a benchmarking right now. How many followers do you have on Facebook? What about LinkedIn? What about Twitter? What about Pinterest? What about Instagram? How many do you have in your email list? Because you're going to be pushing out during this campaign. You're going to set up a protocol that you want to let all your email followers saying, hey, go, grab my ebook today. It's free. And hey, tell your friends. But you're also going to ask on this, what else will you be doing in your posting on your social media? Because this is now, number one, on your social media channels, you need to put up kind of an announcement, maybe the day before, and let them know, watch. I'm going to have a lot of chatter going on in my email, and we'll get this going. And that you're going to see announcements about grabbing my book, free. So don't abandon me. But this is a special campaign, and I'd love your support. And hey, I would love to have you do reposts, sharings, retweets to your followers every once in a while so they could take advantage of my gift to all of you. So we would have that. All right, then you want to have that together. The next thing is, and then follow it to where you go. The next thing is you're going to start looking at your hashtags. What hashtags are you using? Are they the right ones? Maybe not. So you're going to have to get a generator of some sort. I've used so many over the years. I used to love Hashtagify, but it's very hard to go through multiple runnings of that to see what else shows up. You can do it once or twice. That's hashtagify .me. But here's what I would go over to that's been very successful, and it's called a hashtag generator, and it's on Big Bang Ram, or Big Ban Gram, however you want to call it. That's BIGBANGRAM. Scroll down on the home page, and you'll say this is for like Instagram. And there's a couple of ways I'm going to show you how to use this because it's very hot. You want to click, it'll be on the left. There's 2 columns. You break it down. It's going to be on the left side. At least as I'm doing this show, that's where it's hanging out on the left side of the home page. And it's called the Instagram hashtag generator. You can also go into Google and put in that Instagram hashtag generator and see what comes up. All right, search. Now you're going to start writing this stuff down. Now, when you open up the generator, it'll say put up to 5 words. And, your word, comma, next word, that. And then it's going to go through and crunch. And it's going to come up with a whole bunch of hashtags. And you are able to actually click, go through the list that you see, and you can save them. Here's what's cool. It tells you how many people, how many millions or thousands are using them. When you're doing this kind of thing, you go after all you can get because this is a volume deal. Go after all you get, and then you save them to your file. Okay, we're going to take another break, and we'll come back of what to do with these files.
This is your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles. And we'll be right back with more great information right after these.
Discover the power of you and your book at the Judith Briles Unplugged events. Each summer, Judith Briles Book Marketing Unplugged unfolds over 3 intensive days working with just Judith. You get publishing strategies, author and book platforms, book marketing panache and pizzazz, and authoring tools to take you and your book to rock star success. In the fall and winter, Judith Briles Speaking Unplugged includes Judith as your coach and mentor during 2 powerful days. You will learn how to structure a speech, how to create openings and closings, how to find gigs that pay you and sell your books, and you will get one-on-one coaching. Go to thebookshepherd.com and click on the Events tab to learn how to participate at the next Unplugged Workshop event.
Congratulations on getting your book published. The effort you put into your work is truly commendable. But what's next? What will happen to all the knowledge you have worked so hard to acquire to produce your book? Here at TogiNet Radio, we can provide you a platform to keep your knowledge working for you through the power of podcast. The subjects our podcasts cover are as varied as the grains of sand on a beach. From life coaching to military resources to business success, even to the paranormal. We have a place for everyone. To get started on your next step, call Scott at 903-787-5880 or email him at scott@toginetradio.com. That's SCOTT at TOGINETRADIO.com.
Welcome back to your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. Coming up, you'll hear more about statistics, scenarios, and strategies on what to do now to get you published. So let's get back to the show. And here again is your host, Dr. Judith Briles.
All right, so we've got this laundry list, and I don't care if you have 20, 30, 40, 50. Go after as many as you can. And also, because it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, make sure on Saturday or even Friday, use hashtag weekend, all right? Because there's different hashtags that will go along with those on there. Also, we're going to talk about postings before we're over here. but that there's a very common, you may have something that you can share that's funny, but hashtag Friday Fundy or hashtag freebie, and that would be FREEBIE Friday, because they're going to get something free on it. Or if you're, Fearless Friday is another one to use. If your book has anything about food, Foodie Friday, of course, all right? On Saturday, that you want to get into, if you like cats, use an image of a cat, because Saturday is Catter Day. And people who love kitty cats, Catter Day on that. And if you have anything like Saturday sale, hashtag Saturday sale, hashtag Saturday special, hashtag sales Saturday, and then of course weekend, that you would have that. So those would be Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Thursday has some that are very common that you would probably want to tap into, but Thirsty Thoughts. So if your book is a how-to or self-help or a business book, Thursday Thoughts for your business start with, and that's the hashtag, all right? So you have variables in there, but take advantage of those in the process. So hashtags are essential. Now remember, here's the other thing that's important. If you're going to be posting on Instagram, that one of the things that a lot of people don't realize, because Instagram allows up to 30 hashtags, I want you to use them all. Get your post out, what this is about, and use all 30. One of the ways that people drive to your site to see what you're doing, and although this is not about Instagram, we have done a couple of shows on Instagram, that do a little story about your book, the start of your book, or the reveal of what it has, or maybe 3 of the tips from your book on it. If it's a fiction book, you can bring up something between your characters, but just images that you're showing, and then a gazillion hashtags that come into play that might build your Instagram base here as well. But again, when we're going to talk about postings, but in those postings, the goal is to get them to go to your Amazon page and download the Kindle edition for free. Now, there's something else that you should be doing in this process, that you should know who your comparable or competing authors are. Who are they? Go to their websites. Notice what the keywords they use, usually on the home page. Are they the same as yours? And you could also click on their social media, whether it's LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, fill in the blank. You could click on their social media icons, which will most likely take you to their specific page with that platform. Note their postings. What hashtags are they using? Make sure they're in your hashtag list, because you're coattailing, and there's nothing wrong with coattailing in that process. All right, so hashtags, very, very important. They're your friends, and you'll have them in the process as you go along, and that it will make a huge difference. Now, that's just some of the things that we cover in that first week of how to create a Amazon bestseller. So, knowing who the players are, where you're going. Now, what do you start doing forward? Well, I'm going to give you, I mentioned in the last segment, the ads. So Free Booksy, I think, is a great tool to use. And that it starts, as I said, from $25 up. If you are not going to do this for free, you could do it as a paid ebook, but say offer it for 99 cents. Down from your, whether it's $7.99 or fill in the blank, but that you would use Bargain Booksy. Now, there's some other things out there, websites that you should know about. I'm going to give a few of them to you. One is called justkindlebooks.com, and those are promotions that you can get into. There's one called the Fussy Librarian, which ranges from 10 to 65, and the website is The Fussy Librarian. There's another one called Book Raid, as in RAID, Book Raid, and their website is just, bookraid.com that you can get into. And there's a couple of websites out there that you can tap into to be featured. And you want to do this early in the process to see if they'll consider being featured. One of them is called BK, like Baker Kangaroo Knights, Nights, and that's plural. And that they would go to, so I would go maybe Google this, because it's a fiverr.com/BK Knights promote. And another one, last but not least, Book Bassett, like in Basset Hound, bookbassett.com. And that you have, and that's under $10. So there's ranges all over the place to get involved. All right, so that's the one part. Now, the next thing that you're going to do, and you want to get this set up, have all this set up right from the get-go, so you don't have to worry. It's off your list. All right, the next thing is your categories. All right, if you sign up on Amazon, they give you usually an option of 2 categories for your product. Book's a product. What people don't know, here's the secret sauce. There's 10 categories that you can get behind the scenes. And sometimes when you call into and get someone from Amazon in the help area, is that they say, oh, no, you can only do 3, or sometimes they'll 7. Nope, you can go through 10. Now, if you start off, and this is where it can get complicated, that you have one of the things that if you're not already signed up for, I'm hoping you are, if you've got a book, if you're selling a book on Amazon, make sure, any product, that you have Author Central, and that you want to make sure that you are on the Author Central and the detail page. They have just changed Author Central up this year a lot. Whole new look of the way Author Central is. And you have to dive a little bit more. And this is where I would absolutely encourage you to do some exploring on Author Central, because you're going to have to come back and load in your categories this way. It used to be, well, they can still call you. If you find it, you have to dive because they've hidden it, but they can still call you. And they call you in 5 seconds, which is very cool. But they bring that in, and they will call you, and you can say, I want these categories. And here is it. You're looking for a long tail stream. So it's going to start with books. Now, Amazon has all these categories. They are from self-help to engineering to arts to Christian books and Bibles to business and money to children's books, computers, technology, cookbooks, food and wine, medical books, history, health, fitness, dieting, science and math, politics and social sciences, literature and fiction, mystery, thriller, suspense, parenting and relationships, reference, humor and entertainment, religion and spirituality, romance, sci-fi and fantasy, teen and young and adult, books, crafts, hobbies, home, education, teaching. One of those, or many of them, you may use is where you start. And then we do what I call the drill down. All right, so let's say that you're in your books, and that you go into, and like one of my assistants writes books, short stories in horror. He would go books. He would then click on literature fiction, and then he would click again. This is the drill down, general fiction, and voila, there is a section on horror. And under the horror, oh, there's more. Vampires, United States, reference, occult, ghost, erotic horror, dark fantasy, British and Irish, and anthologies. So his trail would be books, literature fiction, general fiction, horror, ghosts. That would be one category. And then you go back and you keep repeating the process until you have 10 categories. Why is this powerful? Because if anyone is using any search words that go along that are any of your search words, your keywords in Amazon, it'll pop up and you kind of get credit in that category range. And that's where you can see if you go into an Amazon detailed book page and you scroll down to it after it says what the publisher is and how many pages, and you'll see what they're, where they place in Amazon. You might see 2 or 3 categories. With that, we're going to take our final break, and we'll be right back. It's Author You, your guide to book publishing.
This is your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles. And we'll be right back with more great information right after these.
Are you confused about publishing options? Do you know which printing option is best for your book? Does your stomach flip when you think about selling books? Or do you feel overwhelmed with what to do about book marketing and publicity? Get the answers and much more. Get them and from someone who knows publishing inside and out from both the traditional and independent sides, how to make a successful book. You can't do it alone without paying the price. You can spend your money creating a book that turns out to be so-so, or you can create a book that looks and feels classy, builds your brand and platform, and is a success, a bestseller. It is your choice. You choose. If you want author and publishing success, you want Judith Briles as your book coach. Sign up for her weekly blogs and e-zine at thebookshepherd.com. The book shepherding concept is simple. The publishing world is changing, and so must you. You need an experienced shepherd and guide to collaborate with you as you create, strategize, develop, publish, and achieve your publishing goals. Publishing is riddled with obstacles, sometimes nightmares for the author. You do not need more problems. You want solutions. Dr. Judith Briles will shepherd you through the maze and chaos. At times, she has had to step in and rescue a book that has been sabotaged by a publisher, by a publishing service provider, and sometimes even by the author. If you want author and book success, connect with her today at thebookshepherd.com.
Welcome back to your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. If you want to write and publish a book, if you want to be successful as an author, your guide to book publishing, everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask, is for you. Stay tuned and you'll hear about statistics, scenarios, and strategies on what to do now to get you published. So let's get back to the show. And here again is your host, Dr. Judith Briles.
Okay, so you've got the categories and you're going to do all of those in. Now, when I do my class, I actually have a tool that I go through and I will put it together in 15 minutes so I can have 20 categories for my clients. So if you're not my class, you're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way. That's all I'm going to say on that. My next class will be in July, starting that, and it's always the first Wednesday in July. So if you want to jump on board with that, it's going to be the 7th, 14th, 21st, and 28th as we go forward. And I do it, as I said, about every other month. Now, here's what we're going to do next. To complete this ensemble, I want you to make some posters, whether you use Canva or you use something like BookBrush. And if you use BookBrush, make sure that you use my discount code if you want to get the paid version, and it's Judith 15. So you get a discount, Judith Briles 15, and they'll give you a 15% discount on it. All right. So with that said, Canva also has a free and fee version. So either way, you're going to start making posters. Now, this is where you will take some key lines out of your book. It could be, something that was an aha or a gimme or gotcha or fill in the blank, but a key lines that you can put on a poster. These are visuals. This is the eye candy stuff that you will pull across and do the push out on. That if you have, there's a couple of other tools that I introduced in the class. They're way fun that you can take advantage of and go after. But you want to start making some posters to break up with it or add images to when you start putting up this next element that is essential in it. And that is literally starting your social media. And you're going to put together a social media campaign. Now, you also might want to find out if there's any special holidays around. If you decide, for example, you're going to do your program in November. Okay, so there's lots of national weeks in November. There's World Kindness Week. So if your book could tap into kindness, into caring, anything like that. There's also International Fraud Week during November. So my client who has this book on fraud points, this is the ideal week for she could tap onto and say, keep out of, don't become a victim of National Fraud Week or awareness. This is when you need to be awareness of it. You can play around with that. You could take advantage of that. So there's a lot of things that you could go on. Every month has list of months. January has National Mentoring Month. February is Heart Month. March is Women's History Month. April is Cancer Control Month. There's other things in those months. I'm just pulling a couple for each one. April, May is National Bike Month. What can you do with that? June, LGBT Pride Month. We have also National Smile Month. July, that was in June, right? June. So July is National Ice Cream Month. That sounds good to me. August is Black Business Month. It's also Cataract Awareness Month. September, you have National Preparedness Month, also Yoga Month. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, also Pizza Month. November is you've got Family Caregivers Month and also No Nut Month. And December is you've got certainly the holidays from Hanukkah to Christmas to Advent to so much more. All right, so find out if there's something in chase.com, the calendar, or if you Google weird holidays, bizarre holidays, you'll find all kinds of fun things that you can play with on that. And you want to make posters. Now, when you make these posters or you start making social media posts, to start grabbing them in, because that's really where you're after here as we put this together. Have it, remember emotion, have it so it has emotion in it, that you could have, let's say that we have a client who had a book called The Secret to Selling Yourself Anytime, Anywhere. Jeanette did, and she had finding the job you really want requires bragging. Okay, so that's a statement. But better is, are you excellent at pitching for yourself? anything you do? How about your expertise or telling others what you do? Discover how to do it with POP in 3 steps via @BizSavvyCoach special ebook deal today. And then you have the link to the Amazon page that's shortened and then hashtags. And I keep all my posts, I recommend to all my clients when they're doing any kind of an Amazon campaign run, pushing out with social media, that you keep them always under 280 characters, and that includes any punctuation, any spacing, anything on that. Because, there's your Twitter, there's your LinkedIn, you can get anything in pretty much in that area on that. And if you can even make it shorter if you want to. I always kind of max it out, but I always put free ebook today, cap today, right? Cap it today, all right? So what you want to do, the final stage, the final step, is that you want to make sure that you get that up on your, so you have a whole bunch, just a whole, when I say a whole bunch, I'm talking 30 of them, 20, 30. So you just have it. Now, as you do this and you've put it together, you've created posters, you know what your hashtags are, you know what your posts are going to be. Now, how are you going to post them out? Because that's what's really important. That's the secret sauce. So you need a social media manager of some sort. There are so many out there. Find one that works for you. I've used Hootsuite for years. It's what I use. I know it will. But there's plenty of others out there. Find the one that works for you in that. And then what you're going to do as you put that together is then you're going to just set this all up. You can have it set up the week before. Postings out starting at your ad's going to start on, let's say, Thursday morning, if that's the day you choose. Thursday morning, your ad goes out, and your social media should be going out too. Maybe you send out a special email. Hey, everyone, today's my big day. Grab a free copy of my ebook and tell your friends that it's free through Saturday. Or again, whatever day range that you take with that. Now, in an email, you don't need to use hashtags, but everything else, you are going to use those hashtags that you were collecting and the right ones in that process. So as you push it out, when I'm doing this, because I always, for my own clients that have been in my class, I actually push it out on my social media platforms as well to support them on it. And typically, by the first day, 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, my time, I'm Mountain Time, they have already polled. All 3 places are showing that they are number 1 in categories. And what we do is we start watching every couple of hours. We'll check in and see if there's any change, any adjustment. And then we take snapshots, screenshots, and we take a screenshot, and then we click on whatever is number 1 in, and we take a screenshot of that too. So we start collecting these badges. It's very cool to do. It's exciting. It's thrilling to have that go. Now, the last thing you're going to do, you're going to go onto your book detail page when this is over, your detail page, and you're going to put a new header on top of the description of your book. And you're going to say, in bold, Amazon bestseller. If you saw that you hit bestseller in another country, Amazon International bestseller. And make sure you put a line break in there, line break, space, paragraph break is what I really want. So it stands out bold. that markets you just a little bit better. Just a little bit better, a little fun. And then last but not least, how about putting a gold seal that says #1 Amazon seller on your ebook book cover? Upload a new one. All right. And with that, that's the things that get covered. It is work. I will never say it's not work. Is it worth it? I absolutely do believe it. Is it doable? Absolutely. And what a great way to bring juice and life back to a book that maybe's gone a little limp, and really setting the stage. And with that, I'm going to bid you adieu for this episode of AuthorU, your guide to book publishing. Thanks for sharing your time with me today. And if you have any questions, reach out to me. I'm Judith@Briles.com.
Thank you for being a part of Your Guide to Book Publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles. Each week, a variety of publishing pros will deliver insights and strategies to take you, the author, to the next level. You'll learn tips and secrets on how to create, strategize, develop, publish, and achieve book publishing success by making one very simple change in your book's journey. How to avoid the publishing predators. How to create an author and book platform that rocks. Learn how to make a living with your words and your books. Learn how to publish a book that has no regrets, and so much more. For more information, check out AuthorU.org, where authors who want to be seriously successful go. And Judith's website, thebookshepherd.com. Then join us again here next week for more. It's Your Guide to Book Publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles. Brought